Hey guys, Lucas here again. It is Monday, so that means it's another review for True Detective. This time we are on episode 4 entitled Who Goes There? So after the extremely awesome cliffhanger of last week, we pick up not exactly at all where we left off. This one actually starts off with Marty and Rust interrogating the former boyfriend of Dora Lang, and he mentions more about Reggie Ledoux and how he would, he was a weird guy, but he followed what he did because, he was bigger than him and he was intimidating. And he talks more about his meth cooking business, and he gives him a lead to this guy that Woody Harrelson meets at some weird industrial club. Before the actual case takes off in this episode, we are delve into more of Marty's family issues and his mistress, who I'm forgetting the girl's name in the show, but you probably remember her from this picture. They see each other at a court hearing, and she's mad at him because you just can't barge into my house like that, and what do you think you're doing? He's just kind of ignoring her, he's kind of brushing her off, and because of how he's playing with her emotions, she eventually tells his wife, Michelle Monaghan, everything, and then she leaves a note saying that, get out of our lives, and they're already moved out at this point, and so his marriage and family is basically already crumbling, and he is just worn out emotionally. There's a great conversation between Marty and Rust where Marty's trying to vent to Rust about his situation, and Rust is like, that's none of my business, and Marty just keeps getting frustrated, and there's a great line in the episode, I think a lot of people have been quoting it since last night, saying, when Marty says, you are the Michael Jordan of being a son of a bitch. But anyway, as I was saying, because of the tip that Dora Lang's ex-husband gives them, Marty meets the guy that he mentioned at this club, and he basically tells him that Reggie Ledoux doesn't sell meth anymore, and he primarily cooks for this biker gang known as the Iron Crusaders. And when Rust hears this, he says to Marty, like, are you sure he said Iron Crusaders? Because back when Rust was in the narcotics days, he ran with this biker gang undercover, and he still keeps in touch with one of the main members of the gang. So he decides off record to go undercover, and he tells the detectives that are interrogating him in the present day that he was actually going to visit his dad, who was dying of leukemia, which is a complete lie, and I think also Marty in the present day backs that up too. And he goes undercover to work with this biker gang to give him the location of Reggie Ledoux, and what ensues is going to be the most talked about thing for a while. They go to the stash house to rob this group of people that I guess they just need to... He basically makes a deal with the guy that says, if you do this for me, I'll give you the location of Reggie Ledoux, and this whole thing just goes completely wrong, and there's a huge just brawl inside this whole projects area, and what ensues is one of the best shootouts I've seen. As just this one continuous shot for about 6 or 7 minutes, and it's a one-take shot, no cuts at all, and it follows Rust, who not only has to survive this thing, but he's also dragging his perp to the car that Woody Harrelson is picking them up in so he can take them in for interrogating, and the whole build-up to that scene was intense. The whole scene was just amazing, not only because it was shot so well, but it captured the intensity and it felt like you were really in the shootout, and it was by far the most exciting thing on the show. This was by far the most action-packed episode of True Detective, and I think after the build-up of last episode, even though we don't get the build-up to Reggie Ledoux's, the showdown with them, this to me was just as satisfying, and it really seems like the show is starting to get into the nitty-gritty, and it's great because after 3 great episodes of setup, we're finally in the midst of something about to go down. I thought that the writing in this was great. I thought how it balanced the storylines between Marty and then Rust in the 2 parts of the episode was fantastic. It's really interesting to see where the family dynamic will go, because Marty does say to his wife in the hospital that he's not going to give up. So I just really thought this was by far the best episode. And I loved last week's episode, but everything in this episode, especially that amazing shootout, just brought this to a whole nother level, and I'm just completely really excited to see where the show will go, and it's my favorite episode of the series by far. So that's my review of episode 4, Who Goes There. Let me know what you thought of the episode. What did you think of that shootout, and did it remind you of Sons of Anarchy at all? Because that's all I was thinking, but better than that. So let me know what you thought of the episode. If you like this, please comment, rate, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next week.